anything like conventional war. Mazi Simon Ekpa, our PM, never wanted that. And the DPM also never wanted that. You know, the one we went through before, they did not fight us, but they were busy carrying out their genocidal mission pogrom against the innocent women and children, which even there, the hidden documentaries are beginning to resurface today. And all these were why we tried to avoid all this and went to Finland to make our declaration. I've been saying it that anybody that is standing against the declaration is working for Nigeria, but people are not getting it. I was so happy. I've not read the article. I just gone through the headline and the one or two line under, and then I zoom out. I'm just coming in now. I was about to go into my system to bring it up to read it. Then I saw Drake discussing the sentence. So I am so happy you are discussing this topic, and I want us to stick on this topic. I wouldn't want anybody to deviate or to discuss Onya Abakwa Aseri, Abakwa one. No, no, no. We have gone beyond that. And we must not allow anybody to drag us back. You might say shipping one thing or the other about anybody, it doesn't matter, but let us not discuss them. Let us not allow them to be our discussion. This we must understand. And I want us to know that when the day, those of you, because I was in Finland and I was communicating with people on ground, and I was communicating with people in Nigeria as well. After that declaration, Nigeria was paralyzed. Nigeria was like a place where very hot Sahara, where you pour cold ice water everywhere were calm. They became scared. They became panicking. They were not saying anything until their goat came out, until their mole in our midst came out and started shouting, "We are not taking this 29 declaration. We know that declaration is only on second. Any other thing outside that is not accepted. We will not accept this. What will I tell my father? What will I tell my mother? That the declaration we plan on the 2nd has been taking place on the 29th of November. We will not take that." Then Nigeria came out. Go and watch the history go and follow Nigeria media. Go back and follow Nigeria media and they study what I'm telling you. From that second, Nigeria began to say, yes, it is working. The thing we injected in their midst is now working gradually. Use Igbo to destroy Igbo. It is working. They begin to applaud. They begin to applaud themselves. They begin to clap for themselves. And from there, the evil seed they begin to germinate amongst us. And they began to develop branches. From branches today, the evil seed, they have fruits. But the good thing is that no osisi ọbụla na-amịrị mkpụrụ ọma a ga-eme ya gịnị? A ga-abụpụ ya. Esoghị m na a ga-egbupụ ya. A ga-abụpụ ya, ga-esi n'akwa na ya bụpụ ya. We have to uproot that evil tree from the root. That's where I'm standing. So that the root will never, the tree, we have to uproot the evil tree from the root so that the tree will not have chance of surviving anymore. So when you see Michael Rubin writing anything, he has been following. Remember, he was with us in the Finland convention, declaration convention. He spoke to us, he addressed us through video or through media. And I want to read for us. I have the time to read it, and I will beg us to listen to what he is saying now. Listen to what he said. He said, why Finland, Norway, and the Sweden shouldn't top freedom ranking. Once again, Freedom House awarded Finland, Norway, and the Sweden its top ranking in its annual freedom in the world data set. Now, how can Finland, Norway, and Sweden be on top ranking of those that love freedom? That is what he's saying. How managed are you ranking Finland? Why don't you also rank Nigeria? Why are you not ranking Nigeria, ranking Cameroon as those that love freedom? The world is now recognizing Finland. Is it not clear to you that the globalists are highly working against us? They don't want you to get your freedom, and you cannot see it. You are seeing Ngozi Orabofonani and the fools that are following these blinded fools following blinded fools or blind fools are not wise enough to see the pictures that are being shown, that there are pictures that have been taken for more than 10 years ago. Who wasn't a politician, who have not played a role in politics in that zoo. Mazen Namdekalu was one. He fought until he found out that nothing I do will make any change. Mazi Simon Ekpa, the same thing. He fought, even used his own personal money to sponsor campaign for politicians, for this same P2B and the rest of them. They were all politicians. The question this Efulevu should have been asking themselves is this: why and what did they see that made them say they don't want to be part of Nigeria politics again? What is this that people like Mazi Nnamdi, Mazi Simon Ekpa, Dr. Ngozi Orebeze has seen that made them change their mind and say, I will not be part of this Nigerian political juggernaut or cabal anymore? Because they have found out that there is no gain. There is no gain. And you are using, go and dig up Mazi. If you want, you can go to Google, type Mazi Nnamdi Kanu campaigning for Nigeria election. You will see them. Simon Ekpa, you will see them. If you don't have your yesterdays, you will not have today. Like I was saying, today, Michael Rubin is telling you that he has seen abomination, that the worst people, worst countries that hate freedom are the ones that are being recognized to be the most peaceful, loving, freedom people. Now, is it not the same thing that is happening in Nigeria? In Nigeria today, they roll carpet, red carpet, celebrate terrorists. They celebrate Boko Haram, they celebrate Lakarawa, Lukarawa, and the rest of them. We have witnessed them tell you that this person is the most wanted terrorist. Tomorrow, the same with the most wanted terrorist is being turbaned, crowned, the greatest king in Funane land. Openly, not in secret. And you see police representative, you see local government, you see governor send their representative. And you see the Nigerian national television go and they cover it. This is the same person they tell you they are looking for. We see governor from Zamfara State telling you, we know these terrorists. We know where they are. We know where they live. We know where they feed. We know their houses. We walk along with them. We pass them in the streets every day. Nobody can arrest them. The question is this: is the world not hearing this? Finland, have you not heard this? Alexander Stubb heard the man stuck his ear. Bianco no know all this and choose to work with the Fulanese to finish the Igbo race. But the truth is that no matter how you work, no matter how good you do, the Igbo land, the Biafran land will never be overthrown, no matter. Let me just read it again for us. Once again, Freedom House awarded Finland, Norway, and Sweden its top ranking in its annual freedom in the world test. data set. Finland received a perfect score of 100, scoring 40 out of a possible 40 for political right and the maximum 60 for civil liberties. Are you getting it? Finland that is oppressing Simon Ekpa today because Simon Ekpa wants freedom. The Finnish authority, Alexander Stubb, and with his cabinet, with his government, seized Simon Ekpa, blinded him, covered him, threw him into dungeon for asking for the freedom of his people. Is the one the so-called useless Freedom House is now recognizing for being 100% lovers of freedom. If you are not seeing it, you are blind. If you cannot understand it, you are moved. Scoring 40 out of a possible 40 for political rights. Are you seeing it? Political rights. When you have taken the right of Simon Ekpa, when you have destroyed the right of Simon Ekpa, at the first you took his right of being part of your politician, and then secondly you catch him and throw him into dungeon for asking for the freedom of his people, and you are proud, you are bragging, you are proud enough to tell me that you are freedom lover, political right, and the maximum 60 for civil liberties. Who are you deceiving? I thank God and happy that this is coming from Michael Rubin, not any called sack journalist. Norway, the same thing they did to Joe Ayaba. And the Norway and Sweden each scored 99 total points, with Norway dot 1 point for political right and the Sweden losing 1 point for civil liberty. The United States, in contrast, scored just 84. 84 on par with it. Listen, those of you that don't know, Joe Ayaba went to court, I think on 10th, I think 10th on the, or 11th, 10th. And then the judge asked them to, the same thing that happened to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the judge asked them to let Joe Ayaba go, that they have nothing against him. And then they said, no, we are not letting him go. Do you know the reason they're giving you now? Not they don't have reasons to give that he is inciting violence anymore. They say he stopped the business of France from moving in the land of Ambazonia. Why should he give order? Say, make they know the thread on these companies and make this company no bring their product in Ambazonia. So it has now turned from inciting people to the interest of France. Are you seeing it? The Scandinavian countries do not deserve such laurels. However, over the past 18 months, each was put to the test and each failed, putting commercial and the military interest above freedom and the human rights. Are you getting it? This is Michael Rubin telling you. Consider Finland on November 29, 2024, following a referendum. Biafrans formally declared their independence during a convention in Finland, occupying the Igbo-populated region of southeastern Nigeria. Biafra first sought independence in 1967. The Nigerian government responded with a deliberate campaign of genocide. This is Michael Rubin telling you this. This is not Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and this is not me. If you have not read this article, you need to read it. I know many of us will not read it. That's why I'm reading it out for us. We demanded for freedom in 1967. What did we get? Genocide. The whole world gathered against us with genocide as a reply. Today, we demanded the same freedom again. What do we get? You get people like Ogechukwu telling you, you don't need freedom. All you need is to continue agitating. You see people like a Sondag Parawa. You see people like a Finland, what is his name? The one that say he is a Biafra Unite, that cannot even be bold enough to show you his face. Even living outside Nigeria, he cannot be bold to unmask himself. And he is fighting for freedom. He is a freedom fighter that is outside Nigeria, and you cannot unmask yourself. Who are you fighting for? What are you gaining? Are you not a full Nigerian? How do we know you are not an agent of Nigeria in our midst? Criminals amongst us that will be withered or uprooted. Consider Finland on November 29, 2024. Following a referendum, Biafra formally declared their independence. During a convention in Finland, formally declared their independence. During a convention in Finland, occupying the Igbo independence of Biafra is what he's saying. Occupying the Igbo-populated region of southeastern Nigeria. Biafra first sought independence in 1967. The Nigerian government with British government responded with a deliberate campaign of genocide that claimed more than 6 million lives. Many war criminals from that era subsequently rose to Nigeria's highest rank, including former President Muhammadu Buhari, including Babangida, including T.Y. Danjuma, including Obasanjo, and so many of them. Buhari, whom Secretary of the State Anthony Blinken feted during his first trip to Nigeria. In recent years, the Nigerian government has resumed its assault and the genocide on Christians, Igbos. It is because it boasts in Finland Islamist militiamen to slaughter Christians. Why the Biden administration wrote that they wrote that off as the result of climate change. It's Biden administration that came to tell you that why the headers are cutting people's head, burying them, burning their communities, taking over their communities is because of climate change. And then I ask a question, which till now nobody has given me an answer. What has climate change got to do with ethnic cleansing? What has climate change got to do with land grabbing? What has climate change got to do with ethnic cleansing, land grabbing, economic strangulation? What has whether climate change has to do with killing of Christians and innocent men and women, and sending people to IDP camps, and dehumanizing, raping, and using stick to destroy the women? What has that got to do with climate change? I am still waiting for an answer, because Oyibo na-esimi so. It was against this backdrop that Simon Ekpa, a Biafran activist born in Nigeria who moved to Finland with his family in 2007, helped organize a referendum that culminated in the Independence Declaration. Certainly, Simon Ekpa has his critics, both among the Biafran community and in Finland, but his activities violated no Finnish law. Are you getting it? He is now telling you that what Simon Ekpa was doing has nothing to do with violating the Finnish law. So why did the Finland arrest him? Why did the Finland detain him? What are they keeping him for? What are they keeping him for? Quite the contrary, he was a productive member of Finnish society, serving as chairman of the main Igbo diaspora community in Finland, as well as a local playground board. He served in the Finnish army and ran for local office. Criticism is expected. The indigenous people of Biafra is faction ridden. There are jealousies and the genuine philosophical differences. Nigeria pressure other Igbo leaders to condemn Simon Ekpa and other Biafran activists in much the same way that Turkey makes some Kurdish spokesman offer they cannot refuse to condemn the Kurdish freedom movement. Are you getting it? In the run-up to the Biafra Convention, though, Nigerian leaders were scared. Are you hearing it? I said it. I said that they were scared because I was in communication to know the situation on ground. Nigeria was paralyzed after that 29. On that 29, immediately Biafra was declared that they become scared. And the Michael Rubin, American, noticed this. But so many people that call themselves Biafrans today do not know or notice or even see the sign that the only thing that made Nigeria to begin to talk again and even do eyes left is that somebody in our midst has been brought over to fight against that same referendum or declaration. In the run-up, the Biafran Convention, in the run-up to the Biafran Convention, though Nigerian leaders were scared. Nigeria is among the world's most corrupt countries. Are you hearing that? World most corrupt countries. As it is, government hemorrhages legitimacy. Nigeria political and military leaders seek to distract the population with the sectarian and ethnic incitement. Are you getting it? When you hear people telling you, hey, we will not accept Ngozi, we don't want a woman, we want Oge, we don't want Oge, Oge is giving me money. What is it? Is what we call ethnic incitement. When you are doing your useless doings here and behaving rubbish and foolish here, you think the world are looking at you and seeing how foolish you are. He's not telling you that this ethnic incitement amongst us is being done or sent into your midst by the same Nigeria. When you hear they use Igbo against Igbo, you don't understand. Nigerian leadership might argue Ekpa's exaggerated the result of the Biafra plebiscite, Biafra plebiscite. But every Nigerian knows if they allowed a United Nations monitored votes inside Biafra, the local population would vote for freedom. Nigeria took another route. However, it lobbied the Finland government to arrest Simon Ekpa, threatening to cancel trade deal unless Helsinki acted. Finnish President Alexander Stubb exposed Finland's human rights commitment as cosmetic when his government then imprisoned Simon Ekpa. Something similar happened in Norway. There are few countries in Africa as brutal as Cameroon, ruled by President Paul Biya for more than 40 years. It was a colonial construct based on fraud and deception. The British colony The British colonial territory of southern Cameroon was a league of national trust territory that upon the league of nations dissolution fell under the authority of UN trustship council, which in turn extended British control. A 1960 a 1961 referendum offered the residents a choice between joining the French portions or Cameroon and the new state of Nigeria. There was no option for their own independence. The people of southern Cameroon, that's Ambazonia, choose Cameroon on the condition it be federal with both English and the French as official language. The French speaking Cameroonians treated English speaking as second class citizens, and in 1972 formally abolished federalism and all protections the Anglophones enjoyed. Cameroon is today as corrupt as Nigeria, as twin brother as Nigeria, and amongst the least free countries in Africa. The disenfranchised residents of former southern Cameroon tried to work within the system, but after a violent crackdown on civil society protest in 2016, they now recognize they have no choice but to abrogate the failed Cameroon Compact. Today, they seek their own nation, Ambazonia, who existed leader Lucas Ayaba lived show live whose exiled leader Lucas Ayaba lives in Norway, having reportedly escaped an assassination attempt by Brussels on September 24, 2024. Norwegian authority arrested the show at Bia's request. Are you getting it? At Bia's request, not that he did anything, because Bia request, that's the Cameroon to president of Cameroon. In effect, Norway conducted transnational repression on behalf of Africa's longest serving dictator. Norway may be free and democratic, but its leaders condescend that white Norwegians deserve a higher standard of freedom and legal protection than African immigrants. I hope you are getting it. Sweden's betrayal of democracy and freedom was even more cynical. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Sweden and Finland both sought to join NATO. Turkey saw an opportunity to extort Sweden, and the Prime Minister of Coalition readily obliged many Turkish and the Kurdish dissidents has long ago flagged Turkey for Sweden, believing they would be safe there for the long arm. Turkish repression not only to not only the Karistasan crackdown on dissident, but he also extradited a court wanted on spurious charges back to Turkey. That action had a chilling effect on Kurdish civil society in Sweden that has never fully recovered since Swedes accused Kurds of involvement in the 1986 assassination of Prime Minister Olaf Palme. Only in 2020 did investigation conclude that one of their eyewitness, an ethnic Swede who died in 2000 was a likely assailant. If you have not read this article, I beg you, go and read this article so you will understand